Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Conversations with Ron Richardson, the podcast on YouTube. I'm your host, Ron Richardson, formerly of WBOK 1230 AM. Now I'm doing my own thing here on the Conversations with Ron Richardson podcast on YouTube. I would like to introduce my lovely guest that I have. Introducing first the woman of the hour, Dr. Stephanie Sullivan. She's a grief counselor, educator, and she's a woman of many talents, and she's a woman who wears many hats. Secondly, I would like to introduce my lovely co-host, Miss Angie from the Sincerely Angie podcast. How are you?
I'm fine. How about yourself?
I'm well. It's been a minute, huh?
It's been a minute, yes.
All right. And next, I would like to introduce Miss Latoya Buckner, community activist and good friend, all around great person. How are you?
I'm well and blessed. How you doing?
I'm great. I'm great. I want to thank all of you ladies for joining me today on the Conversations with Ron Richardson podcast. We are in our third episode. Conversations with Ron Richardson podcast is doing really, really well. And I want to thank you and show my appreciation to all your continued love and support, man. This has been a long journey, and this is new territory for me because I'm so used to being on the radio, but now I'm doing a podcast. And so, Angie, I'm going to have to talk you to get some pointers, all right?
I got you.
All right, all right. So, Dr. Sullivan, I would like you to introduce yourself and tell my listening and viewing audience who you are and why you are a guest on Conversations with Ron Richardson this morning.
Good morning, and thank you everyone for joining me. Thank you
Hmm.
for being here this morning, and thank you for the invite, Mr. Richardson.
Yes, ma'am.
My name, my name is Dr. Stephanie Sullivan. I am born and raised from Mississippi, but now live in Louisiana. I
Hmm.
am the mother of two young adult daughters, Summer and Skylar. I am an educator by day, and by night, I am a grief loss coach. I am a accomplished author. I wrote my first books after losing both of my parents 17
Hmm.
years ago. And one of my books is entitled Navigating Through Grief After Loss. And my second book, it is a companion to the actual book. And it is a journal. It is a book of affirmations, and it's a workbook.
Hmm.
I am a behavioral health specialist. Um, and I've been in the field of education for almost 28 years, soon to be 30 years, field of
Hmm.
education. Looking forward to retirement soon. Um,
Mhm.
I am the CEO and founder of my own business, entitled Top Tier Coaching Educational Consulting Solutions, where I launched my business in March of 2024, and I'm here to join you all this morning to support our communities at large in order to make this society a better society using my strategies and my approaches in helping others navigate through grief after various types of losses.
Welcome to the show, and I appreciate you joining us today. So, I always talk about mental health on my numerous platforms that I've been on, and I thought that you would be a great fit as well. We met actually through a mutual friend, Simone Hickenbottom. She was like, "I got a
Yeah.
great person for you to be on the
Yeah.
show." So we want to give special shouts out and thanks to Simone for
Yeah.
making the connection. So I want to open up with you, and I want to talk about your journey with mental health and why you got started doing the things that you do for our people.
Well, okay. I love helping others. Actually, I joined the mental health profession back in 2000, in 2000, 1999. I became a mental health therapist.
Okay.
Now they're calling it behavior health specialist. I was a
Hmm.
mental health therapist in my home, Mississippi, Woodville, Mississippi, for 5 years, serving adolescents, going into their homes and working with families and the children to help them overcome behavioral issues. I work with basically adolescents and helping families. And when you hear stories, when you hear families come back and say, a parent come back and say, um, my daughter finished high school. She has her own family. She has finished college. And I just want to come back, reach back and tell you thank you because you were adamant about getting in my home. You were coming in, you would get her session started, and you would leave us with a great lasting impact. And when I look back when I go back and listen to those parents and replay in my mind what they've told me, that's
Hmm.
that's a testament, to help you keep going and make an impact in families and communities, because without some type of help, we can't get through life.
Yes.
Someone had to work with me as a young teenager, and I wouldn't be where I am today if it had not been for individuals taking out their time to do little things for me to help me get through life. Somebody, what they say,
Hmm.
each one reach one.
Mm-hmm.
Each
So
one teach one, each one reach one. Yes.
each one
Mhm.
teach one, each one reach one. So somebody
Mhm.
at some point has helped somebody. So that's why we need to reach back and say thank you. Go back and say thank you to families, communities. Um, Go back and say thank you to a colleague. Go back and say, girl, if it had not been for you, I mean, you kept me grounded. I was
Hmm.
thinking this, I was saying this, but you got me back in alignment. So I believe in, you know, being passionate about what you're doing. I love helping children, helping families. Um, I just feel like your life is in vain if you're not helping someone.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's
As you know, I started conversations with Ron Richardson 3 years ago, and that was my mission to help those who dealt with mental health issues, people who are differently abled, and deal with the everyday struggles of being differently abled, and uh, you know you know I'm not going to say suffering, but I'm going to say people who are trying to thrive with mental health issues and disability. And you said something just now that struck a nerve with me. You said we all had to look up to someone, and through my personal experience, I think back to the OGs in my neighborhood, the older guys and the older ladies in my neighborhood, and it's like they always had that one piece of advice to give you that made you go, you know. I can remember a few years ago, well, actually 9 years ago, when my grandmother passed. Mr. Anthony, who lives right next door to me, I was outside cutting my grass, and he walked up to me and he said, he asked me how I was doing after the situation, and I was like, I'm good, I'm hanging in there. He dropped a gem on me that was so profound, and he's not here with us anymore, but it was so profound, man. I still hang on to that to this day, because you know it was so valuable, and it helped me through my toughest times. So, Dr. Stephanie, what are some of the other things that you do in the community, uh, that when working with people?
working with people. I mean, I donate for philanthropists. Sometimes I don't say that word correctly.
Hmm.
Philanthropists. I donate to the homeless. We in my community as an evangelist at my church, we um, donate to the community. I think the second Saturday out of the month.
Hmm.
Sometimes I'm out busy doing other things for ministry and out
Hmm.
here networking with others. I am a philanthropist, making donations, helping the community as a donor.
Hmm.
Donating, helping communities get food into homes
Yeah.
that don't have the necessary means, because
Hmm.
I didn't always have. And sometimes as an adult and as a profession, I've run out,
Yeah, of
I have
course.
to, I get low, and I have to find a way. I do that. Um, I sometimes donate my books to colleagues and places, churches and places that, can use the book as a resource to help others. I donated a book to my church. My pastor, we have a grief ministry. So I
Hmm.
donated the workbook and a book to my church. I've donated it to other churches to help them with the grief ministry. And
Hmm.
that's basically what I do. I'm a grief loss coach. I travel to schools to share with teachers, helping new teachers to overcome burnout. You
Hmm.
know, I present at different conferences and spaces to support educators, help them with burnout. New teachers, special education teachers.
Yes.
I worked as a special ed teacher for more than 10 years. I worked as a school counselor for 13, 14 years. Uh, Behavior health specialist for 7 years. And I'm a minister at my church. I'm an associate minister at my church.
Mhm.
So, like I said earlier, women, we have a lot of things that we do. And at some point, we need a little extra boost as well. And like I said, they celebrate productivity, but they don't see the things that you deal with on a daily basis
Mhm.
uh, when you're by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
We
Yeah.
we can put
That
on
part.
we can put on a facade when we're among people, but what are you doing when you're alone? How are you processing life
Mhm.
when you are alone?
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
Right. Right.
that's
All right.
We
So I'm gonna kick it over to my co-host Miss Angie. I always put her on the spot, and I want you to you know piggyback off of some of the things that we said and give your thoughts as well.
Well, the first thing I want to say to the doctor is that I know that with everything that you do, the donating, the philanthropic efforts, and with the grief counseling and everything, one
Mm.
thing that I know that you probably get a lot are those the feedback that says you really helped me, and that is recharging and refueling when you hear that something that you just do naturally helps somebody, something that you do without a second thought, it really either
Mhm.
saved their life or it really brought them back from a place. Do you get that a lot?
Yeah, I do. The other day, just this week, um, I responded to something that someone was saying about, grief, and she reached out to me. She said that she saw, first of all, she saw that I'm a grief loss coach, and
Mm-hmm.
I told her that yes, I am. And she said that they're dealing with the loss of one of their siblings, and they need some help because a lot of her and her siblings are not talking, and she said that some of them are not coping with it well. And
Mhm.
she said that she's looking for some help for her or her siblings. And I
Yeah.
told her that I'm sorry for their loss, and I also told her that if it's something I can do, I'm here for her. And I sent her my calendar link so that she can schedule a consultation call with me. And in the
Mhm.
future, she probably will be one of my clients that I'll be
Yeah.
Mhm.
serving. So
yeah.
you got to kind of let people know what you're doing because a closed mouth won't get fed. And you're
Yeah.
not
Yes.
working, and you're not working in your purpose. We need to be doing something for society that we're doing for people. What are you
Mm-hmm.
doing for the people? What are you doing
Mhm.
to make an impact in the communities? Because if people don't know what you're representing, what your purpose is, what you're serving, what problem you're solving, how are you helping people? What do you do? If they don't know the what, how, the when, and the where,
Mhm.
then how can you help? How are you serving in your purpose?
Right.
Mhm.
There should be a purpose and some type of passion for individuals that you're helping.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Mhm.
So
I
yes,
agree.
I get feedback on that. Where even parent come back and say, I don't know what I would have done. I couldn't have even gone to work. I got classmates right now. Girl, you still in education. How you
Yeah.
doing it? I said, it
Yeah.
is something. It is something that God. I know it's a calling because I've over the holidays, the past 8 to 10 years, I've
Mhm.
tried to apply for other professions. It is something God want me to do with these
Mm-hmm.
families and children.
Yeah.
See, parent back in the day, my grandmother passed back. She was a Katrina survivor. Got a lot of relatives in New Orleans, and she was a Katrina survivor. She passed. When you lose those people, we don't have parents of today. We don't have those pillars in the community anymore. We have
Mhm.
No.
babies. We have babies raising babies,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
so what the strength that we have from our grandparent, Mr. Richardson, the strength we have to push and use all of those tools to help society now because they're gone. And so
Yeah.
we have to carry this generation and this legacy, their legacy on. The stuff that the qualities and the values they instilled in us, we have to carry it on. We can't
Yeah.
look
Yeah.
around and look for approval. We can't look for approval and watching and waiting for other people to coaches on. At some point in time, you have to be your own. What they say, don't let them rain on your parade. You have to be your own pusher in
Yeah.
this.
Mm-hmm.
We can't allow what is going on around us to stop us. We have to keep going. We don't
Right.
allow bumps and stuff in the road, potholes in the road. We don't stop in the middle of the road.
Right.
We keep
One one
going.
of one of the things that I love. I was raised old school. I was raised by my grandparents, and I was raised with so many old school values. And one of the things that my grandfather always would tell me is, despite your handicap, despite your limitations, you're gonna get up and you're gonna keep going. And that's one thing that I have in my heart and in my soul. No matter what the situation is, you get up and you keep going. You don't let anything stop you. And I think that's why I'm so strong-willed. And when I got the opportunity to start, my radio show and my podcast, I said, you know what? I'm gonna give your average everyday people like yourselves an opportunity to talk about issues that no one wants to talk about, because mental health and disability and addiction are topics that are kept hush hush. I mean, we know about it, but nobody has the courage or nobody has the know-how to talk about it or even step up and admit that they're going through something. So I wanted conversations with Ron Richardson to be a safe place for everybody to talk about, their issues. So
And
you
I
ladies have,
appreciate you on that platform, friend. I do, because for me, being on your show and talking about it, it's like free therapy for me. For me, I held on to it for the longest and not said anything. And the biggest, I'm sorry, y'all, my cat just jumped on the table.
It's all good.
The biggest issue I have with it are people who you thought that were your close friends, you thought that was the relative that loved you the most, you thought that was the person that cared for you the most. And then when it came to your grief, no one calls you and say, how you doing today? Did you eat today? How your day? They just go about the outside of you. And on the inside, you are crumbling, you are falling apart. Oh, well, looks like you're doing good. Or even when they see you in public, they didn't say, a lot of people have forgotten that my son had passed away. Oh, I forgot. Oh, yeah. Well, I didn't. And I did. And to this day, I don't get calls on his birthday from family members who claim to have loved me or loved him. On his heaven day, and that's what we call it. On his heaven day, they don't call me. They don't text me. They don't see how I'm doing. That's the hard part for me.
Go. I lost my foot there, but Angie, okay, Angie.
There's also and I get it, but I don't like it. But there's also that umbrella that we like to give people and say, oh, she's the strong one, so she's good. I don't like that, because I may be able to handle it, but that doesn't mean that I don't need you to ask me how I'm doing. If I need anything, I'll be strong. That's fine. But still, the same energy you would give somebody else, give it to me as well. At least extend it and allow me to tell you, no, I'm not okay.
Exactly. I just went through a similar situation. My dad was in a motorcycle accident out in Jersey, and it's amazing because a lot of my relatives on my dad's side of the family I rarely hear from. And when the accident happened, everybody started coming out the woodwork to see what was going on. And I had to go up to New Jersey and handle some things. And now that everything is settled down, everything is going back to status quo. And it's like, where were y'all when I needed y'all? You know what I'm saying? And it's not taking shots at anybody, but I'm just being real in a sense of, where were y'all when I needed y'all? Now that the situation is settled down, everybody's going back to status quo. Everybody's going back to their lives. And I'm starting to notice that, this is how life is for a lot of us. It's almost like, I like to call it fake outrage or fake caring, And I always try to keep it honest and keep it open with whomever I'm dealing with as far as a friendship goes, because you never know when you're gonna need that person.
Right.
Hit us up, man. Drop me an email, richardsonronald024@gmail.com. richardsonronald024@gmail.com. If you want to inquire about being on the show, you can also follow me on Instagram. Just search for Ronald_Richardson_Jr. on Instagram. Ronald_Richardson_Jr. on Instagram. You can also find the Ron Rich YouTube channel on YouTube. And Angie, tell the people where they can get in contact with you.
Everything is at sincerelyangiem.com.
Latoya?
You can email me at latoya.buckner1@gmail.com.
And Dr. Sullivan?
Dr. Stephanie 63 at gmail.com. Dr. Stephanie 63 at gmail.com.
All right. So I want to ask you, Dr. Steph, being in the education system and being an educator and, a grief counselor, what are some of the things that you have seen when dealing with our young people as far as mental health?
Typically, we have witnessed students losing parents. Students, one student at one particular school I worked at, they saw these little siblings saw their parent get killed in front
Wow.
of. Yes, I've seen they saw their parent get shot down. Another student saw her dad get shot, and these are elementary children, so the trauma that they're encountering. I just I try to make recommendations outside the schools to ensure that these children getting the services that they deserve and need, because trauma is real, grief is real, and some different types of grief, unaddressed grief can lie dormant.
Yeah.
When we become adults, we wonder, something went on with me, and I'm not sure what I need, what was not addressed. And so everybody deserves some type of support system. Everybody should get a support system. That's children, caregivers, educators. Some people think that they are beyond help. We're not beyond it. We're not below it. We're not above it. And so I've witnessed children. I've witnessed teachers lose other teachers. We just saw one teacher left school in May, and looked up. I found out she's in hospice. They buried her. They buried her 1 week ago. So that's why it's important to love people, embrace people when you're there, because school out, you may not even see that teacher. You may not even see those children again.
Yeah.
Right. And that was the thing. I always think about it. As I've gotten older. Me and Angie, we followed each other all the way through, all from junior high all the way through high school. And Angie, you can attest this too. When you're in school as a young kid, all you see is you're in school with your classmates.
Yeah.
You don't know when they go home what goes on behind those closed doors unless you're close to them. And it always takes me back to, like, I think back to, like, certain situations and different things that I can remember. And Dr. Sullivan, you can piggyback off this too if you want to. Always come back to certain situations I remember, and I think, man, maybe that kid was going through something, so maybe that's why they acted out, or maybe that's why they said the things that they said, because something was going on at home, and school was the only place that gave them the freedom to act out and say whatever they felt.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, Dr. Sullivan?
You're absolutely correct, Mr. Richardson. When you see an individual or a particular, even an adult, when people are acting certain ways, it is something that's triggering them to behave accordingly. And it can be sometimes something it's bothering them, something has happened in the
Mm-hmm.
past, or something is going on. That's why it's important for you to, when you're in these people presence, to be careful how you address them, because you never
Mm-hmm.
know what people are dealing with.
Exactly.
You know,
Right.
uh, people go to jobs and with this old boss mentality. They don't
Mm-hmm.
know how to treat their employees. They go in
Mm-hmm.
here bullying and harassing other people. Baby, my thing is this.
Mm-hmm.
You may be in charge today, but somebody else may be in charge over you.
That's right.
Right.
It
Right.
is so very important that we know how to treat people in the workplace, in the churches, in the communities,
Mm-hmm.
because you don't know. I would say it's better to be my grandparent, parent, and all. It's better to be nice. You can draw enemies or whoever better with honey
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
than all these
Yeah.
other things that you're dishing out. So be careful how you um treat people, because you never know. When you what they say, what goes up must come down.
Right.
Yeah.
You may be on this big old 12 foot. I'm gonna say 12th floor now, but you could be on the first floor
Mm-hmm.
to the next few minutes.
Yeah.
You
So
you may
it
be
is
on you may be on this pedestal, but
good.
that pedestal can come down.
Mm-hmm.
Believe, like they say, believe that.
Yeah.
So
All
what
right.
I'm saying is this: why we have to act a certain way? You don't know what people are dealing with.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like we just
Mm-hmm.
Toya and Ann just said, be considerate of someone else's feelings. Ask me. You don't know what I'm dealing with. You don't know what happened last night. You
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
you saw me.
Mm-hmm.
You see me today smiling, but
Mm-hmm.
it could be storming on the inside of me,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and you
Mm-hmm.
don't have the audacity to treat me a certain way because you feel a certain way about
Mm-hmm.
life, or you may be dealing with something, but leave it at home. Don't bring it in the
Right.
workplace. Don't bring it in the community. When you pass that person, give it your best,
Yeah.
because
Mm-hmm.
Maya Angelou said they not may not it may not they not gonna forget what you said. They gonna remember how you made them
Made them
feel.
feel.
How
That's
you
Mm-hmm.
right.
may feel.
That's
You
right.
Yeah.
can say what you want. Mouth says a lot, but
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
action speaks. Action is more empowering than your words.
Yeah.
Words are important. Words have carry power as well.
Mm-hmm.
But
Absolutely.
we say a lot of things, but I trust actions more than I trust words.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes.
You can
And
let me hear whatever I want to hear, but I need to
mhm.
see action.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm like that too. You could tell me you love me all day, but I'm the type of person. Hey, you gotta show me something. I'll
Mm-hmm.
sit up here and I'll
Mm-hmm.
listen to it all day, but it's like, all right, you got to show me something. And I think I can speak for all of us here as the the only man on this panel. Uh, I have no time to to be wasted in my life anymore. Either you're gonna be in my life or we got to do something else, because I want to live the rest of my life and whatever time that God has granted me on this earth. I wanna do my best to live it in peace.
In peace.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And I know that they say that I think it's like grief doesn't have a timeline, so it can show
Yeah.
up in somebody's life at any moment. A smell can trigger it, a
Mm-hmm.
song. So we have to be more mindful that when God places somebody on our heart, check on them. Be more
Right.
active in, if somebody just randomly comes to mind, check on them.
Hmm.
That might be a call for you to, hey, you need to call this person, and you never know what your words or what your conversation can do for that person.
Right.
Right.
Right. Right.
Absolutely. And I'm
And
gonna tell a quick story about my daughter. My daughter is also going through mental issues, and Ron is aware of this. So she
Yeah.
spent 9 days in a mental institution, right? So she had just started this job,
Hmm.
and the job, they're so wonderful. They said for her to take her time, come back when she's ready. So she had been released from the facility the day before she went back. She goes in the building and she overhears someone say, "Oh, that's a new girl. We're going to see how long she lasts." She was like, "Sir, I just got out of mental institution. That is not something that I want to hear.
Wow.
You did not know what this young lady went through the day before she got to work. And you say that? I wonder how long she gonna last."
Right.
That's a trigger.
Yeah.
Which brings me to a situation that I've been through numerous times in the field that I work in. You know, same situation. A lot of people come in and, you know, they say things and it's like, okay, wait a minute, you don't know me. You know, this person will remain nameless, but you know, he approached me one day and he just he caught an attitude with me. And I was like, yo, man, I'm still trying to learn the system. I'm still trying to get accustomed to, you know, how y'all do things around here. And, you know, he basically like screamed at me. So, you know, in the instant, I went into a defense and I was like, yo, I could give a shit about what you're saying right now. But if you want to take it there, we can take it there. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing that people don't realize, you know. I'm a big person on respect. You respect me, I respect you. Now, if we gotta get out of line with each other, 9 times out of 10, don't go there with me because I'm gonna take it to where it don't need to be. You know what I'm saying? All right. So, right. Go ahead, Dr. Sullivan. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like what Miss Angela just said when she said that, you know, grief has no expiration date. You know,
It doesn't.
it does.
Right.
It does not expire. It comes from nowhere. Sometime. You know, you could be driving along the road. You know, places and spaces. I used to have to take my mother to the doctor or to make groceries or to the mall when she want to get out. When I sometimes pass those spaces and places, I have a moment. I'm having a moment, and so your feelings are validated. We cannot deny our feelings. They are real. Let's deal with it. Let's face it, and take one day at a time. Our feelings are validated. There's nothing wrong with feeling the way you're feeling. It's okay. And just talk to yourself, self-talk, journal, you know, talk to a confidant, a family member, you know, whatever it takes. They always, when we was playing sports, they say whatever it takes. And grief is the price we pay for the love that we've shared. It's the price, again, it's the price we pay.
I like that.
Love we shared. You know, so that's one of my grief slogans. And so it has no expiration date because that's the price we paid for the love we shared.
Right.
And we have to keep in our minds that none of us are here to stay. But at the same time, God gave us one another while we're here. Let's embrace one another because one day he's coming back to claim what belonged to him. That's how I processed that, especially with my mother.
Right.
I had to process. I said, Lord, I needed more time. That's the price we pay. I said, I need more time. But see, God said to me, she belonged to me first.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
And if he had taken me first, he would have told her, Stephanie belonged to me. I gave her to you. I loaned her to you. So he loaned me my mama for 85 years.
That's a blessing.
He loaned me my daddy for 92 years.
Oh, that's a blessing.
So I had to let go and let God because I keep saying to myself when I have these feelings driving along the way, well, they belong to you first, God. Help me. Just help me to accept that. We have to just accept it, but at the same time, understand that our feelings, it is okay to feel the way we're feeling.
Yeah.
All right. So before we close, ladies, Dr. Sullivan, one more time, tell the people where they get in contact with you if they're looking to reach out for any help or anything.
Okay, my email address is drstephanie63 @gmail.com. Dr is in Dr. Stephanie STEPHANIE 63 @gmail.com.
All right. So I have we're gonna go to my wonderful panel who's been hitting me up, and one of the questions that they've asked me on YouTube while we're live, they asked, uh, what advice would you give to those who are dealing with mental health issues?
I would say prioritize sleep, getting
Mm-hmm,
rest. And some people say, "What if I can't sleep?" Well,
mm-hmm.
you need at some point they do have medicine to help you sleep.
Yes.
Sometimes our emotions can empower that medication.
Mm-hmm,
So you're gonna have to at some point relieve some have a conversation, a concrete conversation with someone.
mm-hmm,
So some they do put us on sleep medicine, mild milligrams, have get some sleep medication, talk to someone, uh start journaling, and
mm-hmm,
exercise, take a walk, and go visit nature, go to the park, you know uh you know but don't isolate yourself. There's some
mm-hmm,
do's and don'ts, there's some pros and cons. So start reading some books. Reading. You can journal. You can, like I said, talk to a therapist. Get your therapist or someone that can help you, because you're
Mm-hmm.
not you don't deserve to go through this alone.
Right.
Yeah.
right.
Some things we alone, right? We can do alone, but some things we just can't do alone. We
Mm-hmm.
need
Mm-hmm,
we need some help. You know,
Yeah.
we help everybody else. We help everybody else, but we don't want to help ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
mm-hmm.
May I interject for a moment? So,
Right.
if you really need to talk to someone, this is uh, a mental health company that I've been dealing with for years. They've helped my daughter. I met a lot of people through this, called NAMI. If you call NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, they have different offices throughout, especially in New Orleans. Throughout the city in New Orleans is 24 hours. You can talk to someone at that moment, at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Say that one more time for the people who missed it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's called NAMI, NAMI. It is the
Mm-hmm,
National Alliance on Mental Illness.
mm-hmm. Okay.
You can go on their website. Like I said, and when you go on the website, it gives you different offices. Like I live on the West Bank. There's one here on the West Bank. It's
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
24 hours. You
Yeah.
can talk to a therapist at any time.
All
Mm-hmm.
right, man. Dr. Stephanie, before we close, any positive words of encouragement for those who may be going through something or trying to figure out their mental health journey?
Yes, I want to say that to that individual. In addition, we can't pour from an empty cup.
Mm-hmm,
And if you're in any moving about on day-to-day basis, it is imperative for you to seek solutions.
mm-hmm,
We're gonna have to practice um, unlearn ways
mm-hmm.
to stop focusing on problems and focus on solutions.
Focus
Talk
on
about what
problems,
we
focus
want
on
to see.
solutions.
Yes,
Yes.
focus on solutions. Talk about what we want to see, not what we're seeing all the time. Practice talking about what you want to see. Talk
Mm-hmm,
about, because we all got problems,
Yeah.
but
mm-hmm,
we need to get in alignment with talking about what we want to see.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we focus on the problem, we're going to enlarge the problem.
Yeah.
right.
If we talk about what we want to see, then that would curtail all of the problems.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, like I said, that was something I wrote out on last night to everyone listening. You are not alone. Your mental health matters. Your story matters, and healing is possible, one step at a time.
Mm.
Give yourself permission. Give yourself permission to ask for help. Extend yourself grace, and remember that hope is always within reach. She just gave you NAMI, NAMI. Hope is always within reach. So, um, like we said earlier, don't capitalize on productivity. focus on supporting vulnerability.
Yeah.
And thank you all so much for having me today. It was a
Oh,
pleasure being.
Oh,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Stephanie, it was
Dr. Stephanie,
definitely a
it's a pleasure.
pleasure.
Definitely a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank
All
you all
right,
so
Dr. Stephanie. This has been Conversations with Ron Richardson. Remember, guys, you can find me on social networking. Just search for the Ron Rich or Ron Richardson Facebook page. You can also find me on Instagram. Just search for Ronald_Richardson_Jr. on Instagram. That's Ronald_Richardson_Jr. on Instagram. You can also find me on LinkedIn at Ronald Richardson. LinkedIn at Ronald Richardson. Also on TikTok, Ronald Richardson. And Substack, new to Substack, Ronald Richardson, all under the same name, man. It's been a great show. Thank you for your continued love and support, ladies. I really do appreciate it. And there will be more, and there will probably be a part 2 to this interview on Conversations with Ron Richardson soon to come. All right, so y'all stay tuned for that. All right, this has been Conversations with Ron Richardson. Email me if you want to be on the show. RichardsonRonald024@gmail.com. RichardsonRonald024@gmail.com. And Angie, quickly tell the people about your podcast before we close out.
My podcast is similar to this Conversations. Just it's usually solo talk. I have guests often enough, but whatever's placed on my heart, I get online and I talk about. And I usually have a blog post that is associated with it. For those who like to read, there's a blog post, and for those who like to listen, there's a podcast episode. And it's just lifestyle basically, but whatever is placed on my heart, because I like to speak with substance. So I don't want to just get on there and talk about anything. I want whatever I say to be impactful. And that's why I was asking Dr. Stephanie, does she get refueled when people say, oh, that really helped me, that really changed my life? Because those things are powerful. And so I say what's on my heart on the podcast, on a blog, and on the blog. So
yeah.
All right, man. Ladies, all the best to you, and thank you once again. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate you.
This was
All
great,
right.
ladies.
This
Thank
has
y'all so much.
this has been Conversations with Ron Richardson on YouTube and on StreamYard. Thanks for your continued love and support. And remember, healing and recovery start with you. I will see you guys next week. Love you.
Thank you.